What's up, traders? Today's video is going to be on the depth of market. What is the depth of market? And what is it for? Is it for you? Is it for me? It's for all traders. In my opinion, if you're not using this, you are missing out on a lot of information you could potentially be using to help you get better entries for your trades. In today's video, I'm going to cover very briefly what each column means on all these little lines on the DOMs, and I'm also going to show you live examples of me using the DOM and executing trades of things that I'm seeing on the DOM at specific price levels that coincide with technical analysis. But without further ado, let's get into it. So on the very left column here, you're going to see that there's a 225. That number simply is telling you that is how many trades transacted between buyers and sellers at that set price. So at 4,578 with 50 cents, there were a total of 225 transactions that occurred. In the next column over, as you might have guessed, it is the price, the strike price of that futures contract. So you can see right now we're currently trading at 45.74 and a quarter, or a tick as some futures traders like to call them. And then the next column over is going to be the limit resting orders at said price. So for this example, at 4,703, there are a total of 276 resting limit orders ready to buy. And at 45.77, there's a total of 123 resting limit orders ready to sell. Those are just simply resting orders on the market that you can see on the DOM. The center column are all the transactions that are getting filled from active buying or active selling, and then with the mixture of some of those resting limit orders as well. So you can see here the resting limit orders are getting taken off the book. There's many more getting added as transactions are happening here in the center column. That is the most important column that I utilize when trading. And then the last one's going to be, these are simply the how many sells and how many buys were transacted in this column at this price. So at 4,575, there were a total of 2,023 of contracts sold and 2,300 and counting contracts hit the bid at that price. Now let's tune into those live trades. First one's going to be in this live trading example. You're going to see how I was able to hone in on finding a beautiful short entry on a lower high, although you can clearly see from a candlestick perspective that price looks like they're sweeping up. You can see price getting driven up every single time to dip down. It almost looks like it's going to be a breakout. But there's something key that happens on the DOM that I cover on my live stream. But in the meantime, I'm just going to go over what I'm seeing from recording over my live, and then after the video I'll play my live stream. You're going to be able to hear my audio on my commentary as to why I even initiated a short on the ES, which quickly led to a 4-point drop as soon as I entered. So we're going to cover as to what's actually happening. So on the DOM, what I'm seeing is I can see that the orders coming in are super thin. There's not a lot of movement happening, okay? This price being stuck within 3 ticks, especially given the time of day it was, isn't common. It's a very weird circumstance to see the flow of orders coming through. So that nuance brings my attention to seeing that there may be a shift in momentum. And as you can see, I quickly enter a trade based on that order flow coming through, which then quickly you'll see escalates to a very quick sell with a great risk reward entry using the previous high and then aiming for the lows of that morning, this generally area. As you can see, price is starting to pick up there and price is getting dragged down below. Right before that, I provided some commentary on my live stream, which I'll play right after this video, how you can see quickly price accelerates to the downside. I was able to catch near the top, about 2 points off the top on this nice sell side we got, simply because I was able to identify the orders coming through on this seller column here on the ES. Were super thin, just really awkward pricing, which quickly gave me a reason to enter a trade. The flow was telling me something was going on, something was fishy, something didn't feel right. And because of that, I was able to quickly profit on a nice, clean move down on the ES. Okay, and I'm going to play the video of my live footage of me talking that over. Buying, looks like they may not need it. Rejection at the highs. You see the DOM move here. There's some sort of inability to get over the highs. So you get stuck there at 10 and they reject it again. So there's something going on up here at the high of day that they're unable to continue higher. I'll be based on that interaction. I'll short the ES. Damn, I missed it. So you can see on the DOM there what happened right before we sold off. So big rotation came down, and then you can see the action there. I'm going to short the 95 again. Based on the flow at the highs, it looks like something's going on. Something weird happened at the highs, and they're going to rotate this back down again. You can see the DOM was acting funky up there. This is the NQ DOM. You are going to see some activity happening here simply from my live stream. I'll go into those trades a little bit after in this video. But first, we're going to cover, as we're heading into this key area on the ES, this is a 5-minute chart for the ES, we're heading into this key pivot zone. You can see that 92, 93 has been a pivotal zone this morning. For this trading session, you had some resistance meeting there a little bit into the early morning, and then you had a nice reversal that led to a nice squeeze higher. When we get to these zones, you want to be really honed in on the DOM and see what are the transactions happening there, because the key insight is who is actually transacting at these levels. Are there buyers? Are there sellers? What are the odds of breaking up or breaking down? You don't have to guess. You can see it all happening live in the DOM. And so with this example, we're going to see all the imbalances, and I'm going to highlight the right column again. These transactions are all the orders getting filled from the buyers and sellers, and red is selling pressure, buyers are buying pressure. And as you can see, as we head into these lows right before that support zone, you can see that sellers are willing to get aggressive and outbalance the buying coming into that area. So you can see that a total of 1,045 contracts have transacted there, and a total of 781 buy orders have come in at this zone. Okay, so of course price naturally went higher. Sellers are not willing to transact any lower below the 93.50, hence the 6 transactions that occurred at the low here with no further selling pressure. So that naturally led to a reversal, but what we're going to be honing in here is going to see what happens if we come back to that price. Do sellers participate again? Do they not? Do buyers participate? And if so, do they outweigh the sellers, right? That's going to be a key point here going into this key level. As you can see from a technical perspective, this is a breakup or breakdown area. So this is going to be a line in the sand for what's to come for the next 5 to 10 points. Now, you may see that I already have a transaction open, so I've been holding this trade from the highs of that day. But nonetheless, we're going to focus and see the transactions happening here in real time. So as you can see, as we transact here, you can see that there's more selling coming through, and now sellers are out here yet again pressing, and price is slipping below into that support area, right? And as we're doing so, you can see that the sell orders coming through, they are still outweighing the buy pressure coming out, okay? The buyers are trying to push price back up, and momentum on the DOM, the center column here, you can see that price is not picking up. It's slowly draining, okay? Price is slowing down as we head into this area. There's no significant bounces coming into this area. It looks like sellers are willing to absorb all the transactions coming through. As you can see, as price unravels, buyers are meeting. I'm doing a little bit of a chat here during the live, but you can see all the transactions happening. Now, the longer we hold below that area, that 93 support zone, the more probable it is to sell. And as you can see, selling outweighs all the buying. I initially and quickly take a scalp on the NQ, which ends up being a profit. But you can see here all the selling taking place on the DOM. It's beautiful to see all the transactions that happen. You can see that sellers transacted here and then skip price lower yet again, just giving you more insight that this area here is no longer being defended by bulls, and now bears have taken control. All right, in this example here, you're going to see how I quickly scalped the NQ at the high of day, what I was looking for, and primarily you'll see my cursor there go over submit an order at that price. Now, why am I doing that? I'm going to cover that really quickly. You can see that price I entered at the 05. Look at the orders getting filled at this area. If you were to be able to look at this, and you can see that price is clearly being stalled In other words, buyers are aggressive. You can see the orders coming in. They're pretty big size for the NQ, but they're unable to push price up. Okay, as soon as the aggressive buyers come in, the sellers are absorbing all the orders coming in at the high of day, therefore thus not allowing price to move any higher, which gives me conviction to enter there for a rotation back down. I'm not looking for a huge move by no means, but I am looking for some sort of sell side coming in order for the buyers to reload at another key area. So when I short the NQ, I simply scalp it. I look for divergences in price, absorption, and stalls at set price levels that are of interest to me at zones that I have annotated the day before, and I simply observe the DOM, the fluctuations in price as price is moving within that particular price that I'm interested to transact at. And I saw something that was interesting to me, the way price came into the level. As you can see, price is stalled at that level, has not been able to cover any more higher, and not even clearing the high of day there, which is the 115 on the NQ for this specific day of trade. You're going to see price eventually squeeze up, but immediately get met with equal amount of selling. What that means is that there's a huge possibility that all the buyers that got stuck at the highs as price comes back up in this area are going to be stuck having to cover their longs and potentially hit their stop losses as price rotates back down. Because as you get aggressive buying at the highs, they have to capitulate at some point, right? So as you can see, price is getting filled higher and higher there. And then as soon as we meet that, you can see momentum is clearly drying up for the upside. Sellers are matching all the buying, and they're going to clear. As soon as they clear that 105 area, you're going to see that all the selling comes into play, and we get a nice, beautiful rotation down, giving me my nice scalp trade at the high of day for the NQ. Boom. Beautiful movement. No ifs, no questions, just simple reading of the flow. No charts involved. It was just a matter of seeing the flow come in, getting involved, watching price fluctuate, price stall, and then I'm able to capitalize on movements like that. And I do that over and over. You're going to see me potentially get another short entry again as price unravels. Again, I'm using simple analysis. Buyers got met at the highs with selling pressure. They're going to capitulate. Stops are going to get hit. And that leads me to two great back-to-back short scalps. I'm able to lock in profits on the first half on the second trade there. As you can see, I'm moving my stop to break even just to ensure and secure those profits. And price starts to rotate back up, and I'll continue to look for those shorts at those same levels with clear conviction. So if you think this is important for you for trading, if you scalp trades, if you are a day trader and you trade for short swings, I definitely recommend getting the DOM under your belt, getting some experience, learning more. I do have a video on footprint charts if you want to learn about those as well. Click on my channel, subscribe, and check out my other videos.